let's talk about getting your first ever handstand push-up, or just even getting really fucking good at handstand push-ups. I have the world record for the most handstand push-ups in an hour, which is 136, so I kind of know what I'm talking about on this. So we're gonna break down all the exercises that you can do to build up. Let's just have some fun, embrace that it's a skill that you don't know how to do, and it's gonna have a bit of a learning curve, but that's the point. We have this big goal that we're like, oh cool, I wanna be able to do a freestanding handstand push-up. This is forcing me to do these exercises, which are gonna get you stronger, gonna get you more muscle, and the byproduct of that is that you're gonna end up being able to do a really cool skill. So obviously the essential is doing a handstand. Now, I have a full video, which I'll link in the description, on how to get off the wall, because obviously if we're stuck on the wall here, we're never gonna get a freestanding handstand push-up. But in saying that, we can still do a lot of wall work that's gonna help us get to a handstand push-up even on the wall, which is one of the milestone moves, right? So we can start with just slightly doing little partial range reps. From there, we can get a little deeper, and you might max out here. Then we can do some eccentrics, where we're gonna slow ourselves all the way down, fall, drop, and you're just gonna kick yourself back up. So now this is what I would focus on, because it's gonna really build the strength at this end range in particular, because you can get stuck here. Fuck, it's hard to talk upside down sometimes. So we could advance to the handstand push-up on the wall, which we will, but before then, we sort of wanna be able to do more pushing power stuff, right? So pike push-ups will be a good one, but before that even, we can just work on our actual push-ups on going deeper than full range of what we normally would without it, right? So we go in this extra range, and you can get parallel bars that will be like 30 centimeters off the ground. Pause at the bottom. We can even just do isometric holds here, get real strong in this end range position where all the tendons are gonna be working the shoulders, and push up. Then we can do pike push-ups. So we're gonna lean forward. Now this is important, because if you do a handstand push-up or pike push-up and we elbows go backwards, there is nothing here holding us up. So gravity is just gonna fuck you there, okay? So you're gonna lean over our wrists. So now my elbows and wrists are shoulder stacked. And then we're gonna go head forward, come to the ground and up. We come more forward, lean forward. And then obviously we can elevate, we can go higher up with the different bars. I'll put a few overlays here that will show you what we can do. We can add some weight just to build up that pushing power. So that way, when we get to actually doing the handstand push-up, we're strong enough, because we want it to be a skill, not a strength deficit. That is the problem for us not being able to get our full rep. All right, so it's time to get our first wall handstand push-up, which is an exciting day. Like, this is a big milestone. You should be stoked with this. What we're gonna do, and the main problem, like what I just talked about with the shoulder stacking, if it goes backwards, you're not gonna get it. This is seriously, like even me, if I go backwards, I can't get it. So the first thing we're gonna do is get on the wall, obviously. Squeeze your bum, point your toes, and we're going to look forward at your hands and push your head forward. This is gonna get that shoulder stack. We're going down, touch the ground, and come back up. That's your first wall handstand push-up, which is a fucking massive milestone. If you can do that, that's awesome. We can now advance that now. So getting your first rep's the hard stuff. It's just like chin-ups. The first one's the hard one. Now we could do an EMOM, right? So I could rest for the rest of the minute, do another rep, do that for 10 rounds. Now I've done 10 reps. So hit your first one, build up to getting 10 in 10 minutes. That's 10x the volume, right? Like, you get really strong at doing a wall handstand push-up, and then that's just gonna give you the confidence that we can go freestanding. So we wanna get strong, which means we can do conventional lifts as well. So it's not that we're just doing this weird exercise, we're doing a skill, we're working towards a skill by doing the fundamentals, on a different level. So we have our normal overhead press like this, but this is not quite the position that we will be in for a handstand. So I like to go a little bit wider in my hands, like I would with my handstand push-up, squeeze my bum real hard and look up. So this is the exact position that I would be at the end of my handstand rep, right? So now when I'm doing my reps, I'm essentially getting in the same position, and I'm making sure to pull the bar all the way down to my chest, always full range. This is where you're gonna be weak when you're gonna push out of the handstand and back up. Now, we can do a heap of different things with the overhead press, right? It is a fundamental. We can go several layers deeper. We can do slow eccentrics. We can add kettlebells on the end to make them wobbly to work the stability, so that way the skill part of the handstand gets easier as well. Then we can add eccentrics onto that as well. We can add isometrics. We can have a lot of fun with the fundamentals, just going a little bit deeper. All right, now, obviously, the hardest part of a handstand push-up is keeping balance in the handstand. So while we're working on all the strength building stuff, we really need to be supersetting it and adding in handsets every fucking day. Like, It should be fun. Treat it as a fun skill. Like, you're gonna suck. Like, still, I got a world record and I could fucking fall over on this first rep right now. Okay, like it humbles you every time. Have fun with it. Don't get frustrated. Okay, so do your strength work, but we also need to do the skill work, and ideally daily. You'll get way better, way faster, meaning you'll enjoy the journey, meaning you'll get there sooner. It's just better to do it every day. So fingers forward, that's the biggest thing that we need to focus on. If I see this, I'm gonna scream at you, okay? It's like toes. If I was to walk this way, I'm going to fall forward. There's nothing stopping me. That's why our toes are in front of us. Same as our fingers. We're gonna use this. These are like our brakes. As we come up, we're gonna kick quite aggressively up. If we don't, we're not gonna make it up. So we have to go real hard up, and then I'm stopping with my brakes with my fingertips here. That you can really see, I'm digging into the ground to stop me going forward, and I go backwards and forwards between my palm and my fingertips to keep me balanced up there. So that is a massive, massive help. That's gonna keep you up there. The second thing that we have to focus on is our toe position. Now, this took me from being able to hit 3 consecutive handstand push-ups to being able to hit 10, like in a row. It was unreal, and it was just me pointing my toes harder. So if you just weak toe it, as you come down in the handstand push-up, it's gonna fall down, okay? But even just in the handstand hold, I gotta point really hard, and this just keeps all the tension going through my legs. And I squeeze my bum really hard here too. This is gonna keep you in position for a lot longer. And actually, when I did my world record attempt, my ass hurt nearly as bad as my shoulders and my triceps because I was just squeezing so hard to keep that position. It's so important, because if we can keep that position, now we just focus on getting the handstand push-up. So just making sure everything is tight, because the more tension, the more stability, and that's really what we need. All right, so now it is time to actually go for a handstand push-up. You're going to fall over. That's just what's going to happen, okay? So get used to falling, get used to just taking small wins. So think like what we did on the wall before, partial reps. If I can just do partial reps, that's a win. All right, and then you just work your way lower and lower down until we can get it. Now we can do the exact same principles that we did on the wall. So partial, partial, partial until the point where you can't get a partial rep anymore. Then we're just going to do the eccentric. So again, with the form, we lean forward, head comes down, and then you just fall down. That will absolutely speed up the strength process, and more so, the strength work should be done by now. That's going to help you learn how to keep the tension on every part of you as you go forward, keeping that skill to stay tight and not fall down, because if you fall down, you're not getting back up, obviously, okay? Now, on this rep, I want you to really look what happens with my toes as I push back up, because let's say now that you've done the eccentrics, you're strong enough, you're ready to just fucking try a rep, okay? If I don't squeeze my toes, they fall down straight away. And I was stuck on that for like 9 months. I was getting stronger, which is awesome, but that was a massive problem for me, okay? So this time when I do it, I'm going to squeeze my toes, and hopefully I just fucking nail it first attempt. I did not, I'm saving it. I'm on world record for a fucking reason, you know what I mean? So hopefully you just hit your first handstand push-up after doing all these steps. But if you haven't, there's still other things that we can do. So one of the things that I did in my training was tying a resistance band up to a pole so that it would keep my toes in the right position, and also just helps you pull yourself out of the bottom range. Now, we can go one step further to make these not just doable, but easy by doing again the resistance band, but by doing them on parallel bars. So I do this in my training all the time. We're going to this massively deep end range, which is like now when I come to the floor, it's like I'm doing a half rep, right? So that's why we're training these extreme end ranges. So that way when we're just doing the skill, we can pop them out real fast. Because again, we don't want it to be a strength problem. We need it to just be a skill, because we can work on skill a lot easier. I really hope that you stay on the journey to hit your first handstand push-up, even if it's on a wall, but like aim big, have permission to dream big, go for it. It's such a free and like just liberating experience being able to just hold your body weight upside down, go down, push back up. It looks fucking sick. Everyone loves it. You're gonna feel like an animal. There's no downside to it, because it is going to be the vessel for your training to just get better. You're going to add in all these extra exercises. You're going to get stronger. You're going to learn new things, new protocols. It's so cool to just see what chasing a skill can do. And that's the big thing that I do. And one of the reasons I wanted to do the world record was because I wanted to just get absolutely like just fucking filthy boulder shoulders by not focusing on bodybuilding training. Instead, I'm chasing this skill. Like, I've done more shoulder work than most bodybuilders, well, not like the professionals and shit like that, right? But still, like most people training bodybuilding in a normal gym aren't doing shoulders as much as I am, but I'm smashing them, but not in the conventional way. I'm chasing this really cool goal, and I got it, so that's pretty cool. But my shoulders blew up, my body changed completely. I got super strong. I learned whole new training methods, and I want the same for you. So don't give up on it. If you get frustrated, please just send me your form. Like, I'm happy to just have a look at what you need to do, because like sometimes it's just someone saying, hey, you're not pointing your fucking toes, point harder, squeeze your bum. Like, it's little things like that. I'm just happy to help you do any of that. So send me the form. If you love it, let's go. If you want to focus on more skills, I've got a video here. You can look at dips, you can look at chin-ups. Just realize that going for skills is the way to go forward.